In this painting, we're only going to use 4 colors. We're going to use cadmium yellow medium, alizarin crimson, French ultramarine blue, and titanium white. For medium, I have a little bit of Galkyd. So for the first part, I'm going to lay in the yellow, and I'm starting with the yellow because it is the lightest color, and I want to make sure that the yellow stays pure all throughout this. I am going to clean my brush frequently, but I want to make sure that this color is very pure. So I'm going to fill in the first 3 sections of this umbrella. The sections that I'm picking, this is very important in the composition and to ensure that you have the correct color wheel design. So the yellow I'm putting in the upper right. Notice also where I'm going to put the red, and notice where I'm going to put the blue. Please frequently refer to the reference photos that I provide. Next, I did clean my brush. Now I'm grabbing some of the alizarin crimson, and I'm going to lay in the alizarin crimson. The alizarin crimson I'm going to put in the bottom left. And if you go outside the lines, don't sweat it too much. You can always go back over all the white using actual white and clean up your umbrella. Painting the alizarin crimson into the 3 other quadrants. Next, I've cleaned my brush again, and I'm grabbing some ultramarine blue. With the ultramarine blue, I'm also laying in 4 of the quadrants. Next, I've cleaned my brush, and I'm actually pulling out some of the highlights using some of the mineral spirits or Gamsol. That way I can start to see where the veins of the umbrella are again. Grabbing some of the cadmium yellow and French ultramarine blue, I'm going to start making some of my green. Starting with the darkest first. Also notice that how translucent the colors are. We are going to go over this again to make them stand out more. Grabbing some more yellow, I'm going to make the next color. One thing that I do with my color mixing is I never mix all of it into the same pile. I want to make sure that there are different gradations of that color. Let's just make that darker green just a little bit darker. And then make the secondary green just a little bit darker as well. And pulling out the veins again, make sure that you clean your brush really well. And you're just taking a slightly wet brush and pulling out those veins. Next, I'm going to make the oranges. Here I'm taking alizarin crimson and a little bit of the yellow. I'm going to start with the darkest orange first again. And moving into the yellow, so it naturally makes it a little bit lighter. That time I took some of the yellow and just placed it directly onto the orange just to make it a little bit lighter. You don't always have to mix everything on your palette. You can mix it onto the canvas itself. Another thing I'd like to point out is don't hesitate, like I did just then, to actually pick up your canvas and rotate it around. It does make things a little bit easier to paint things in if you're willing to pick it up and move it around. But for the demonstrations of this video, I didn't do that. Instead, I'm just kind of working with what I've got, and I'm keeping it pretty stable. Again, I'm pulling out the veins of the umbrella. Now on your painting, you may notice that there are some pencil marks coming through. Don't sweat it. Again, we're going to go over it again. So now I'm starting to add some colors to the alizarin crimson. I'm mixing my dark purple, and I'm going to start pulling that into the blue as well. If the paint starts to get difficult to move, just be sure to add some Galkyd to it. I'm really cleaning up that blue. I'm basically adding the second layer of that blue, and that's really going to darken that up and start to add some nice depth to it. You can take your mop brush at any time and just gently blend things together. I am wiping off my mop brush after every wipe to make sure that I keep the colors on the canvas very clean. One thing to also note about the mop brush is don't wet it in the mineral spirits. Once you wet it and then you bring the mop brush onto the canvas, it's going to start pulling off the paint. What we're doing is gently moving the paint and really blending it around. Here I'm actually cleaning up some of my edges. You could do this with dipping your brush into the mineral spirits, gently wiping it off onto your paper towel or rag, and then just kind of rub it in just a little bit onto your canvas just to straighten up those little lines. But again, if you really kind of booger it up, don't sweat it too much because we can go over this all the white with titanium white, and it'll look really nice with some movement and brush strokes. Add back in the veins where you've lost them. Now I'm going to mix my black. I am taking ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, and a little bit of the cad yellow, and mixing it together using my palette knife. What you'll find is you'll need to add more alizarin crimson and more ultramarine blue than you will yellow. And in some cases it may just turn out to very dark purple, and that's totally fine too, because when you go over it the second time, it will appear much darker and a very pretty black. Grabbing some of the Galkin, I'm going to take my new black, putting a center into the umbrella, and now I'm going to start painting in the silhouette. The painting of the silhouette, I did speed up just a little bit here so that you can kind of see. It's just coloring in the lines pretty much. So I'm going to speed this up and so you can get to the painting yourself. Alright, now if you finish that first layer, we're going to go over it again, because that's the beauty of the oils, is with the second layer everything gets more rich, more in depth, and it's just beautiful paint that you can add layer upon layer and get that richness from. So I'm starting with my blues, and I'm just going to use the existing piles that I've already created and go back over my painting with these colors again. I'm going to speed up this process a little bit because I pretty much bet you've got the gist of this right now. We are just adding the same colors on top of our previous layer. I'm going to call out my veins again now that I've added my second layer of paint. And again, all I'm doing is taking my brush into the Gamsol, cleaning it off, wiping it off with a little bit of paper towel, and then gently removing some paint from my canvas. I'm going to speed this up again because I bet you've got the feel for this by now too. Now we're going to add some of the titanium white to our umbrella. What we're going to do is just add a touch of titanium white to each segment of the umbrella. Make sure that you clean off your brush in between each time you touch the white so we keep the white clean. We will blend it here after we've done all this. What this does is it really kind of shows us the shading or the tint that we have or that we can achieve by just adding white to the colors that we've made. Next, we're going to take our mop brush, clean it really, really well, just using a paper towel. Don't get it wet. We're just using paper towel. Now we're going to gently blend each of those titanium white into the colors. And again, scrub off that color. This is the only paintbrush that I'm going to say it's okay to scrub it clean. Every now and then you might get a little hair. Just pull that sucker out of there. This is also why I recommend buying the cheap mop brushes. That way if you pull a hair out, you don't quite feel so bad about it. And again, for you, don't be afraid to pick up the painting and actually move it around. And now I'm going to go over my silhouette, again with the black that we've already made. And I'm going to speed this process up because I think you'll probably get this. We're just adding some more black to the silhouette, and so it'll really make it kind of stand out and darken up.